Season 3 of Guilty Gear Strive is here, my friends, and that means there's all the new system mechanics for us to play with. There's tons of changes to all the characters within the game itself. We're really looking at a brand new game, and I'm excited to see what it has in store for us. In this video, we're going to be going over the new offensive mechanic, Wild Assault. Or Strive Impact, if you want to make the connection to Street Fighter 6. Strive Impact is a very unique mechanic because it is actually different depending on what character that you play as. There are 3 general overarching types, all of which are demonstrated by the color that appears behind your character. So when I do it here with Sol, we see that he's red. When I do it here with Asuka, we see that he's blue. The properties of these changed ever so slightly, but there are a few common traits regarding all of them, and let's cover what is common across the entire cast. Well, it's all the same input, quarter circle forward dust. They're all effectively plus on block because of what they allow you to do. And on hit or on block, they take your opponent's burst gauge, so they reduce it by a little bit. So there might be some routes where you're looking at your opponent's burst, you're hitting them with a combo, and you want to deny them burst, right? So you're able to weave this into combos and then take that opponent's burst so then they can't burst on you anymore, right? This is important since they buffed the blue burst to be full screen. Now, let's talk about the fact that you can also charge it. So here we see with Red Wild Assault, the opponent stays grounded when I hit them with the uncharged version. When I charge it, they go flying forward. This is also true for the blue version. But you're already seeing that there's a couple of differences in the hit property, right? Like this is a stun state that Sol gets put into. But again, there is that launcher that does happen with it. And of course, it does more damage. 22 here and then 37 here between the different versions. So being able to find routes where you want to maximize your damage, looking to do starters where you get a launcher or a better launcher by fully charging it is going to be something that you're going to look for when you're going on the offensive and you're using this as a combo tool. Pretty respectable damage, and we got full screen corner carry pretty much without using any of our tension gauge. It did cost half of our burst gauge, of course, but we'll see where is going to be the best place to really start putting this down. Now, onto the specific things. Let's talk about the Red Assault. This is available to almost half the cast, if not half of the cast exactly. The characters that can use Red Assault are Sol Badguy, Kai Kisuke, Mei, Axel Low, Chip, Ramlethal, Giovanna, Leo, Anji Mito, Ino, Testament, Sin Kisuke, and Johnny. The properties of the red version are kind of interesting, where the red version kind of has this forward momentum that follows it. I'm going to do a neutral jump with Sol and cancel out of this and check what happens. That's a neutral jump. You can see it in my inputs on the left-hand side of the screen. Sol has a lot of forward momentum. And we see it here as well. With his close slash, it kind of keeps him point blank. This is nice because this means that you sort of have a tool to deal with the opponent trying to faultless defense you, right? So we're going to set Asuka here. Normally, if I end my string right and push this far back, but then I'm able to close the gap here. And then after I do that, I'm able to stick right in, right? So all of a sudden, offense is a little stickier. And now I can make Asuka spend more of his gauge, or I can force a stronger mix-up, right? Now, you'll see that it doesn't really have, forward momentum on every one of the moves. Like Wild Throw, for example, doesn't quite work here. But Forward Throw has a bit of forward momentum. Unfortunately, the active frames being as early as they are and ending so soon kind of means it's not really great for a tick throw setup. Especially because the opponent is still, in that block style. You cannot dash cancel out of this, so you have to do, a normal of sorts. But this does mean that, you could basically force a high-low mix-up and stay on the opponent. So that is something to consider. Additionally, this applies in combo routing as well. So if we make Asuka here get hit, if I do this, charge it, we get some fairly easy side swap route action here. And you can see that my 5K advances. So this is namely used to kind of help a character stay in, keep their offense going, force a quick high-low mix-up possibly, as well as make their combo games incredibly easy to do. For Asuka, things change a little bit. So we're going to put Soul into the corner. I'm going to record a sequence with Asuka here. I'm going to make sure that Soul is blocking as well. So Asuka is going to start his pressure with his, the blue version. The blue version shares a couple of things. You can act immediately out of it like the red version. So we see that here. But as you notice, I don't have that crazy forward momentum, so it's lacking in that little bit of extra stick to it. In return, though, it is a guard crush. So we do get some plus frames off of this, and on hit, it does stun the opponent on an uncharged hit. So it is possibly, most likely possible to get a combo of it just like that, right? So you kind of like have that same tool. It just functions in a little different way because it doesn't have that forward momentum to it. But with the guard crush property, I'm mashing my 5K here, a Soul bad guy. And there I wasn't quite tight enough with it, and that's, I'm going to blame my lack of Asuka gaming on that, right? You can see that this sequence, I actually can't get this button out as Soul. I get counter hit on that one, right? So this is important because it allows some characters like Asuka who want to maybe set up something real quick or check out an item or get some set play going or regenerate a resource. They're able to maintain their offense and do that at the same time. The blue version of Wild Assault is on Faust, Milia, Zato, Jacko, Happy, Chaos, Baiken, Bridget, and Asuka. So that's kind of important, but again, a lot of the same combo utility. You don't get that fly forward, though, with it, right? So if I were to attempt to do a thing like this with Asuka... It's still pretty applicable to do an added combo because you do get a fairly generous pop-up with it. And this is something I think a lot of characters that are going to be able to naturally fit into their combo structure. Which is important, right? Because if you want to deny your opponent the ability to burst, then you're going to want this tool. The last version that we do have, I'm going to do it like this, is the white Wild Assault Rush. And I'm going to probably demonstrate it with one of the scarier examples on here. Only a minority of characters have this option. I think it's 4 in the game total. Gold Lewis, Nagoriyuki, Bedman, and Potemkin all have the Wild Assault Rush. Now, as you can see, on hit, unlike the others, it doesn't really lead you to a combo on an uncharged hit. The enemy gets pushed back quite a bit. On a charged hit, you do get a generous pop-up. So, you know, odds are that, you know, if you get a combo start with Potemkin, you'll want to do this, and then you're going to get some natural extensions off of it, right? So, again, there's that combo utility tool that it does have. Like the white version, it does also lead to a guard crush on block. But now the one thing that you're going to see, I'm pressing up here with Potemkin, and I'm not jumping until well after it's over. You cannot cancel out of this option immediately. So it's a little less flexible as an uncharged combo tool. You want to use the charge version in your combos. But the reason that you want to use this tool here I am mashing 5K with Soul as hard as I can. And with a 3-frame normal, I can't mash on that pop buster. So if Potemkin hits me with this, I am forced into a strike throw 50-50. That's a pretty scary situation to be in. And of course, if Potemkin goes for any of his other normals, I think I've seen this with 2H. Actually, we're just going to do Far Slash, right? The Far Slash is a little slow, but if I jump it, right, like I'm predicting a throw, I get caught by this Far Slash. So this is a true strike throw 50-50 that you just have to guess between whether or not Potemkin's going to be hitting you or not. Backdash gets caught as well, so very terrifying situation. The final property that this move has, though, is quite spectacular to see. There's iframes to the white version of this move, so if you're playing at a neutral game and then all of a sudden they just kind of want to get in on you, they're able to use this option and possibly start their offense. And as you can see, even if you do the fully charged version, it has iframes as well. That is quite scary to think about. Now, I will say, though, let's go ahead and demonstrate this with the counterattack setting. We're going to make Potemkin do Wild Assault. You can see here that Potemkin's trying a reversal, but he's getting counter hit out of it when he's trying to do Wild Assault. It is not a frame 1 reversal option, so they didn't give these characters a half a bar DP. They gave them a possible tool to help them deal with some pokes in neutral, close the gap, and get their offense started, as well as some terrifying pressure. That's pretty much it for Wild Assault, my friends. There's going to be a couple other nuances to these, of course, that are going to be character specific, and I can't wait to see what we all start cooking up with this tool.